Oh, boy, is it fucking, like, comic season out there. Like, I go in to, like, actually, I was getting a little bit dry, close to Christmas.
Yeah.
And
when I was doing my Kickstarter.
yeah, and well, that's fine because you actually didn't have a lot of competition out there.
True.
And so there were a bunch of there's like high volume running into Christmas, and then it kind of dropped off, and I still had enough. I still was able to find like 4 to talk about each time. It's open season right now, like last week and this week, like tons. And yeah, like tons to pick from, tons to talk about. And as always, I'm trying to find the ones that are interesting to talk about. I had one. I told you about this offline, and it's just kind of a bummer because it's like the idea, the comic itself, and the art was really cool. It was very sketchy, scribbly, but like sketch. It's like it's about the characters still being in your brain. Like it's about you having a character in your mind that you're trying to get out, and so it's kind of like sketchbook sort of style and very light and loose, but like it made sense for what they're trying to say. Like the story is about the ideas that are still in your head and haven't come out yet, and it looked great, but like unfortunately, it didn't seem like the person has like quite got what a Kickstarter needs. And I sent him a message and hope, like, hey, you probably should add this and this because I really want to back this. But like, it's like the one backer tier that's available is just for no reward. I was like, I want that. I'd like the book, please.
Yeah.
And then it's like you could watch the video and they would just kind of like flip through their sketchbook, which is cool because you could see all the pages that are already drawn. So they've obviously finished the project. But I think like there's that part of comic skill that is pitching it, in this case, pitching it to a Kickstarter audience and finishing it, putting it to print, right? It's those particular things are still kind of lacking, and it's a shame because it's like I love the idea. And I hope I can talk. I hope we can get some details filled in, and so I can talk about it because it's just not quite enough, enough to do the thing to, but I want to, and I want them to get there.
Yeah.
And there's another one. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, just we talked about this a lot, not only here but on my other streams. Like a project success isn't always necessarily based on like how strong the writing is or how strong the art is or how good of an artist is. Like there is unfortunately a level of salesmanship that does have to go into it, and that doesn't mean it needs to be like finger in mouth gross marketing, but there's a certain amount of like needing to know how to present your product to someone who might be interested in it that you need to do if you want to be successful.
If you want to sell your thing, you need to tell people what they're buying.
Yeah.
And I think like inherently when you're coming at it as an artist, you're like, as a pure artist for art's sake, you've got that sense of, well, what I want people to know is what I say in the art. It's like I want people to appreciate the art as it is, And so here, just take it, just take it, consume it, get it, People's time is precious. Most people don't want to give time for free. In fact, when I look back at it, and I look back at the early internet, and me putting my comics out there and being like, hey, read my thing, and just getting hostility, took me a while to really parse why. And why is because I took time from that person. I put a thing in front of their face and they said, I don't like this. Why is this in front of my face? And at the time it hurt, and I'm like, but I'm just trying to find people to like my thing. But from that other point of view, I took some of their time and it wasn't something they wanted, and thus they were hostile about it. Is that fair or right? I'm not going to say. I think it's a complicated interaction that has occurred here. I have the same reaction about most advertisements that I see. You just took time from me, and that ad was terrible, and I hate your product. I will never, ever purchase your product. In fact, I will actively avoid your product because your ad was so bad and took time from me. Time is life. And even a few seconds of life that I didn't want to give to you is infuriating.
So, when you're selling art, there is a certain level of, like, so if you want to be successful at making art, there is, like, you need to operate on the assumption that your art is good and people are going to like it when they read it. And that is a hurdle to get over for a lot of artists. It's something I still struggle with, and I'm actually pretty proud of a lot of the stuff I've made lately. Like,
yeah.
But you kind of need to operate on that assumption, and the problem then becomes, like, how do I get people who will like this to look at it?
There's the through line between you, creator, and the people that will like your creation, and the cloud of people that will hate your creation, that those people that will like your creation are kind of like suspended in, like boba in boba tea.
Marketing is not, to me, it's not about getting as many eyes on your product as possible. It's about getting the right eyes on your product. And
True, and I think, like, a misnomer, but unfortunately an effective one, is to loudspeaker broadcast to all, thing exists, and just cast the broadest net possible so that the people that will be interested in it will say, oh, hey, I am interested in it, and the people that are not interested in it and will froth and rage about their time being taken don't matter. Because you're an asshole and you don't care that you've taken time from people. You care that your thing reached the number of people that will buy it. And
to a certain extent, you've got to be at peace with that, I think.
To an extent, yes. Boys that rough for small guys like us who are creating something that, like, we care about. And boy, would it be nice if we could just talk to the people who will. I'm not even gonna say buy, but read, consume, like, enjoy, right? And not talk to anyone else. It's like, oh, do you not like this thing? Goodbye. It's fine. Don't give me your time. I don't want it. But do you like this thing?
I think that's kind of. I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at. That's the trick. Is it's as much about reaching the right ears as much as avoiding the wrong ones. Because if your marketing push is reaching people who aren't interested, you're wasting time, resources, and money.
Now, that's another interesting point, because that's kind of the whole point of big data and all of these analytics and all of these specificities about target groups and interest groups and like the big tech trying to gather curated data about every single person and what they're interested in, so that advertiser can come to them and say, hey, I have product, who will buy this product? Well, our data suggests that this group, and this group will all buy that product. You should advertise specifically directly to them. And so that's why they're taking all the data about all the people and putting it into a big old computer and freaking.
And just because the society we live in is at that scale now, does, like, the lesson has merely scaled up from what it has always been. There's always a certain level of finding your target audience that has been the case with art forever.
Well,
and I think a lot of people get scared away by thinking about, like, what big companies do and big ads and all these things, when realistically it's always been part of it.
True, and it's like this whole concept of I'm selling thing, I want to sell it to the people that will buy it, is the eternal history of commerce, right? And like rewind it 100 years, rewind it 1,000 years, and you've got, like, the marketplace and the guy that sings a song about his tomatoes rather than the guy next to him who just has a sign, right? Like, how do you get the message out there, but specifically to the people that want tomatoes? Fuck. It's and just imagine that competitive marketplace before electricity. And then in that world I am king. Man with piercing voice. What loudness can go through, and all of his many, many words. He has so many words.
I do think you would make a pretty bangin' town crier, Jer.
I did very well when I tabled at cons. I did very well. I used the voice. I did the thing.